Have a nice day to everybody. And today we are going to discuss the topic with regards to what they call it as the deadlock. You know, in a multi-programming environment, several of the processes may compete a finite number of resources. This is a process requests resources and there are conditions. If the resources are not available at that time, then the process enters into what they call it as the waiting state. But sometimes this waiting process is never again able to change state. What is the reason? Because the resources it has requested are held presently by other waiting processes. So this is the situation and it is called as a deadlock. Now perhaps the best illustration of what they'll call it as a deadlock can be drawn from a particular law passed by the Kansas legislature that was early in the 20th century. It said, in part, that when two trains approach each other at a crossing, both, of course, shall come to a full stop, and neither shall start up again. This is until the other is gone. So in other words, in this topic, we will describe methods that an operating system might or can use to prevent or to deal with what they call it deadlocks. Now, although some applications can identify programs that can also or may deal deadlock. And some operating systems typically do not provide what they call it deadlock prevention measures or facilities. But it remains the responsibility of programmers because they are the one who develop the program and they need to ensure that their design is a deadlock free programs. So the problems of deadlock can uh, only become more common given what they call it as the current trends, including larger numbers of processes. That is what is happening nowadays because of these multi-threaded programs. So many more resources within the system itself. And of course, there is or should be an emphasis on the long-lived file and database servers rather than the batch system. Now for the learning outcomes, so we need to define what deadlocks are, and of course to enumerate the different conditions for their occurrence. And likewise, we will describe the different ways by which an operating system uh, uses to prevent these deadlocks by, of course, negating one of the four conditions leading to these deadlocks. That's why at the end of this discussion or unit, we will be able to first develop the way how to describe or description of deadlocks, which we think prevent sets of concurrent processes from completing their tasks. Okay. Now, the image shows a situation where a traffic jam was occurred, usually in a intersection. This make your own interpretation on the image below. Okay. Now, for the presentation of the content for these deadlocks, letter A, deadlock is a set of block processes wherein each holding a resource and waiting to acquire a resource that might be held by another process in the set. Another one is deadlock is a kind of a situation wherein two or more processes are unable to proceed or go because each is waiting for one of the others to do something. Okay, example, in a system drives CPU. So in a system drive, we have here two tape drives, and maybe we can call it process 1 and process 2, and each hold one tape drive, and each needs another one. Okay, another example, bridge crossing. See what we have in the figure. So traffic only in one direction, because as you can see, the road is too narrow. Each section of a bridge can be viewed as a resource. Okay, now if a deadlock occurs, so what uh, will be the thing to do to resolve it? So one car shall backs up. In other words, preempt resources and roll back, because several cars may have to be back up also if a deadlock occurs. So this is considered as a system model. So a system consists of a finite number of resources to be distributed among a number of what they call it competing resources. Now, one example of or examples of resources are the following. What are they? One is CPU cycles. Another is memory space. Third, input-output devices and files. So each of these process utilizes what they call it as a resource, and they are as follows. Letter A, request. So request cannot be granted immediately to the requesting process. So they need or they must wait until it can require the resource. Another one is use. Okay? So the process can operate on the resource. And next is release. The process must be first be releases the resources. So how to characterize deadlocks? What are the necessary conditions to do? Number one, deadlock can arise if four conditions hold simultaneously. Okay? Mutual exclusion. This is one of the conditions. Only one process at a time can use a resource. And another condition, hold and wait. Uh, so you need a process holding at least one resource is waiting to acquire additional resources held by other processes. And another condition is no preemption. Okay? So, no preemption is when a resource can be released only voluntarily by the process holding it. And after that, process has completed its task. And another condition, circular wait. There exists a set, say for example, process 0, process 1, up to process n of waiting processes such that process 0 waiting for a particular resource that is held by the process 1, and process 1 is waiting for a resource that is held by the process 2, and process 2 is waiting for a resource that is held by process 3, and process 3 is also waiting for a resource that is held by process 0. Okay? Now, for the resource allocation graph, this is used to precisely describe what they call it, the deadlock. And a set of vertices B and a set of edges E. Therefore, P is equal to set of processes P1, P2 up to Pn. And the set consisting of all the processes in the system, we call it as set R, which is equal to resource 1, resource 2 up to resource M. The set consisting of all the resource types in the system. Now for the request heads or directed heads, so process 1 is directed to resource J, assignment heads. Directed heads, resources J is directed to process I. A process B, resource type with 4 instances. So PI requests or waits for an instance of the resource J. Okay. So in other words, all of these important requirements to resolve uh, deadlock once occurs is necessary in a particular running operating system. So next time we will be having another follow-up discussion about this one, and for now we're going to end our discussion. So have a good day.